Just your initial thoughts, sir, on what you guys have been doing the last 2 weeks in terms of your portfolio.
Yeah, hi, good morning. A pleasure to be here. I mean, to be honest with you, we do take a long-term view. I've always had a relatively constructive view on the marketplace. So to be honest with you, we haven't done too much in the last fortnight. Where we were busy, I guess, were when we had the March madness sell-off, I guess, in the early parts of March, where there was a lot of value that was being offered in the marketplace, and that's where we sort of rotated our portfolios a little bit. But the long-term themes, long-term trends that we've always focused on in terms of companies with sustainable earnings power in industries such as healthcare, technology, property management services, and so on, I think still remain valid now more than ever, I guess.
I actually wanted to pick up on that. Thank you for bringing that up, tech, to be specific here, because your two biggest holdings, Tencent, Alibaba, about 20% of your portfolio as well. I'm curious whether do you expect any permanent changes to, I guess, those businesses moving forward post-pandemic? And do you think, I guess, the markets perhaps might rethink the multiples they attach on those two big stocks?
A good point. I mean, as an investor, we'll always try to identify companies that can manage and cope with crisis. And we're trying to identify companies that could obviously take advantage of the current situation. And I think those two companies clearly have benefited as a result of the current situation. We've seen valuations decline relative to the earnings growth profile for these companies over the years. So I think there could be a potential for further re-rating of these businesses. If you remember, Tencent was operating under a cloud for a number of years regarding its game business. That seems to be behind it now, and I think we are going to see a healthy resumption of its gaming pipeline. And similarly for Alibaba, I think clearly the domestic narrative or the domestic consumer has been a very compelling story for this business. But more increasingly now, I hear international investors are now looking to, say, the AliExpress international business model of Ali in order to source essential items like PPE. So I think it's gaining, these companies are definitely gaining mind share amongst the public and obviously amongst the investment community.